God's working with me through celiac disease, depression, anxiety, and 3 other problems. My name is Gary. Me, an individual, a committee of one, came into the world in the usual way on August 29, 1954. My dad, Charles, was a worker at Cessna throughout my growing years. I'm the only child, but I have plenty of neighborhood kids my age to play with. My life seemed easy doing what my parents told me to do. I always did my best to obey them. I was involved in Cub Scouts growing up. My dad became more part of my life later on in life when we were involved in a camping club together for about 30 years. We camped in almost every state park in Kansas. We started out the station wagon, tent trailer, and finally travel trailers in various lengths throughout 30 years. When I was 10 years old, I was crossing the street near my home when I got hit by a car and near the curb. My head hit the curb, but I ran home. It seemed to be okay. As a teenager, I went down to my uncle's farm for a week. My parents said it would be good for me. They left me down there after a week's vacation. They said it'd be good for me to be down there. So I did that for about 3 years in a row. I rode a bus, sort of. It was a 9-passenger van to Wichita, Kansas. From there, my mom's older brother picked me up from Kiowa and took me on to their farm. Mom and Dad would come down a week later to come and get me. In my high school years, while I was working out with weights with my cousin, I misstepped and landed flat on my back with the barbell across my neck. My whole body tingled like when you hit your funny bone, but all over my whole body. I said I was okay. I had to be, because the whole family was going to come that evening to visit. Both these times, God was watching over me, and reminds me of Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, where it talks about a great cloud of witnesses watching over you. Our camping vacations ranged from Mount Rushmore to the Gulf of Mexico, to Branson, Missouri, to Flagstaff, Arizona. We did not ask God to keep us safe on our trip, but we did go to church each Sunday when we were camping out if possible. I started school in 59, a class in elementary, K through 3. Then I was transferred to Wilson Elementary, which is now Anderson Elementary School, through the 6th grade. Jardine Junior High was my junior high school. I attended there 7th through 9th school, 9, then went on to East Side, where 10 through 12, and graduated in 1972. Then I had during that time I had a few classes at Voltech. One was welding, and the other one was metal fabrication. I lost both my grandparents on my mom's side when I was quite young. Well, my grandmother died in 67. My mom's dad died in 60. And after graduating from high school, my dad helped me find a car to buy. He said, if I had the car, I had to go to work to pay for it. He bought it for me, and I paid him back. I worked at aircraft instrument development in many different areas in that place for a year and a half, and then went on to Cessna, then got laid off in 82. My best hours at Cessna were from 12:30 to 7:30 a.m. 6.5 hours, get paid for 8. Let me get back. In 1979, 2 of our friends and I got my camper ready for a trip to Tulsa Sobering Workshop. My cousin went with me. He decided to be baptized that one of those Saturdays, and I watched him being baptized. Then I went on the Wichita Area Vocational Technical School, which is now the North Lot for the buses, and took truck driving training, the Class A, the semis. Graduated there with a Class A license. Then I drove a school bus from 83 to 85, then went to work at Learjet on third shift for 6 months, got laid off out there. I worked at Cessna for 7 years and got laid off out there in 82, which I tried to, where it says 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 11 and 12, it says, when you talk about work, keep your hands and lead a quiet life. My goal was to work properly and obey God's word and do what I do. Trying to walk a godly life is difficult at times. Sometimes I had to change shift. I had to change shift because of a bad supervisor, which got me injured. That's the reason why I'm wearing this brace, right now, because he told a guy to knock me off of an electric truck twice, and I landed on cement with both knees and both wrists. And get back here. During those summers of 84 and 88, when I wasn't driving the school bus, I went down to the family farm and stayed in my uncle's shed. It stayed in the north side of my uncle's shed. I also attended the church in Burlington, Oklahoma, which was out in the country. And it was the Riverside Church of Christ, and they moved into Burlington in 61. Let's see. While there, I learned that I needed to continue to examine myself and measure myself with Jesus Christ according to 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. At the farm, I was a farm helper, doing after-harvest work. Anywhere from driving a tractor to helping him move cattle. And got kicked by one at one time. I didn't get kicked by one, he stepped on my foot. I kicked him back. Let's see. During one evening after work, my uncle and I would go to park. Okay, one night a storm came up, and my uncle asked me if I wanted to park my outfit in his shed, so I drove around the south side of the shed and parked it facing north. For 3 nights I couldn't sleep worth a darn, couldn't figure out the reason why. Then I figured out the reason why, so I backed the outfit out, backed it in, leveled it up, until from then on, I slept like a log. Each time after that, my uncle would have the shed ready for me. All I had to do was drive it in, level it up. And I've got pictures at home of all this. And it worked out perfectly. One night, I was sitting on my trailers north of the shed, talking to my folks, and I heard the storm coming up and lightning and thunder. I said, "Okay, Mom, I'm heading in." I had some temporary jobs, which I rode minibus. I drove a minibus from 1990 to 2003. 2003, I went to Hutchinson for the National Campers Convention on the fairgrounds. We were in a high rent district. We had electricity, water, and sewer. Everybody else had electricity. There's where I started losing weight and the ability to walk and stand normal, which I'm fighting right now. After my parents died, I went down to family farm once a month from 2003 to 2007, just to get away from town and having fond memories of growing up. I went until my marriage in 2010, married Estelle until her death in 2014. After spending most of my time taking care of her, I tried to get back to a regular basis. I usually would mow some yards during the summer. who gets some there have been some things that have really helped me. I attend East Point Church men's retreat in Colorado. It was an uplifting experience. The reason I say that is that when we got down there, my nerves are going like they are now, and I, guys, I just got to go to bed. So next morning, woke up, everything was fine. And then I had a good time after that. I got also discovered this Celebrate Recovery group and decided to take part of it. Some roadblocks. One, I have some roadblocks in my life is trusting people with what I have to say, that it doesn't go much further than this room or what in this room. When I went on the mission trip to South Texas in January, it really helped me. It would open my eyes and heart to tell me that I could help the group and be useful. I still get nervous when trying to put words down on paper, but this allows me to open up, which I'm trying to do now. I'm still trying to find a part-time job due to my disability, because I am disabled. When I walk, I act like a marionette. That's the reason why I say when I move my right arm, I say my folks are pulling my strings. Okay, there was a time when I told someone to move it. I looked down. It was my pair of shoes. I am a part of, and on Thursday evenings I go to North Side and participate there and Celebrate Recovery also. I'm hoping to give this to them also and tell them what's happened in my life. Several years ago, there was a song on the radio called Desiderata. I won't read it. I'm not going to sing it because it's not sung, it's spoken words. Go placidly in the midst of noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to those dull and ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater or lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interest in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession, this changing fortune of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and wherever life is full of heroism, be yourself. Especially, do not feign affection, neither be critical of love. For in the face of all duty and disenchantment, it is a perennial in grass. Take kind of the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in this sudden misfortune. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And for whatever there is or not, it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you concern him to be, and whatever your labor and aspiration in this noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its shame and drudgery and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Strive to be happy. And I leave with you a little segment from our favorite show, My Red Skelton. Thank you, and may God bless.